Hey, everybody. We're so excited to be talking tonight. So, we're here just discussing some financial impact testimonies. I have muted everybody only because I want us to be able to keep this recording and share it in the future because I know it's going to be amazing. So, tonight I have several of my dearest friends who have just surprisingly had their lives changed by this financial opportunity, just like I have. I can speak for all of us, like literally every single person that I'm going to be introducing, that we didn't start this for any type of financial benefit. It was more of, I kind of feel like crap and I'm going to just give this a go and let's see what happens. And the beauty of Plexus is that we get this opportunity to heal our bodies. And you guys, that heals our minds and that heals our spirit and renews us and gives us the courage to share with others. And I just am super, super excited about it. I'm just going to introduce and when one of my friends is done, we're just gonna move on to the next. And so I'm so happy to have a very dear friend of mine, the life of the party, Mandy Noss, is here. She's an Emerald Ambassador. She is larger than life. She hasn't unmuted herself yet. Okay, so when she does, you're gonna hear all the things. And she's gonna tell you all about what this business has meant to her family. So go ahead, Sissy. Okay.
I'm unmuted. Hey girls, hey. Super excited to connect tonight with everybody.
Yes.
My story begins almost 5 years ago, thanks to my lovely best friend who's right below me, right there on my screen. She's right below me.
She's up here right now.
Okay, well, she might be up here, over here, but either way, she's my upline, and I'm so incredibly thankful for her. I can't get too into that or I'll cry, but long story short, she saw this as an opportunity for healing. And I was kind of just holding on to her tight, like, well, I want to see what this is about. And so she started me with a couple of the products. And I didn't want to sign up for anything. I was very hesitant to do that because I had already done multi-level marketings in college. So I had kind of a bad taste in my mouth about all that kind of stuff. And I thought, tried it, they're all the same. And as an Enneagram 8, when I know what I want, I don't want what you have to offer unless I decide for myself it's something that I think it could be of a benefit to me. No matter what you say, my mind is a light switch. And if I've turned you off, the bridge is lit up. Like there's no turning back. So she was very scared to approach me, obviously, because I'm kind of a bulldog. And then finally, she got me on a Zoom call with Sadie. It was a group setting, and I just listened into the benefits and the opportunity. And by then, the products were really starting to do something for me. They were taking my muffin top and making it flat after having two babies and nursed and being exhausted, dependent on caffeine. I was like, this is a whole new world. I was like Jasmine from Aladdin. All of a sudden I was like, I have patience. I'm kind. I'm loving. I'm well rested. I want this and I want it more and more. And I don't want to wait for my really relaxed best friend to get it on her order anymore. I think I'm going to enroll for this. And that way it can be drop shipped directly to me. And I don't have to write checks to the back of my car at school pickup. I can actually have the box delivered to my house and sign up for this. So what I thought was kind of like going to be drinking the Kool-Aid cult was actually the best thing that's ever happened to my entire life. I was very successful with my day job. I've been with them for 15 years and I plan to retire this summer with this Plexus income. And it's just a huge blessing. You know that saying, pom pom, plenty of money, peace of mind. It's not only about what it's doing for my family, which is incredible. It's actually helping me to bless others, tithe more, serve and be a vessel for good. And that's what God intended us to do, right? Love others wholeheartedly, give more, take care of people. And that's what this business is. It's spreading the love to everybody that you encounter because it's been a blessing to me. So why would I keep my lips tight? Why wouldn't I shout that from the rooftops and share with every single person I know? So once you stop looking at yourself and being self-centered, you want to open this up and toss it everywhere like it's flower seeds, because everywhere you toss it is blooming. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I won't bore you with any more. This is fantastic. And if you see the vision, jump on board, because all of us are running at the speed of life. And every single one of these girls on here are powerhouses, leaders, lovers, and they're all doing amazing things with this business. Thanks.
I love you. Thank you for sharing. And something I love is how controlled that was, because usually, like Mandy, when she gets going, like she is like, her metaphors are my life. Like I just love her metaphors. Okay. The way I just want to keep her in my pocket and have something to say for every single thing I experience. And I hope that you guys felt just a tiny snippet of her spirit, because it is infectious and it is blessing her team every single day. So thank you so much, Mandy. I love you dearly. Next up is her sponsor, one of my very, very best friends. She is an Emerald ambassador, Diane Renaud, and she's going to share what this business financially has done for her family. And I just can't wait to hear from you. Sissy, go ahead.
Hey everybody. So I see a few new faces on here and some names. So I am Diane Renaud, for those of you who I have not met before. Plexus is by far the very best thing that has ever happened. I'm going to try and get through me talking without crying, but I get so emotional talking about this, because truly I prayed for an opportunity like this to come into my life. I needed it desperately for my health. I was just suffering behind closed.
I'm sorry, Sissy.
That's okay. I don't know where you guys stopped hearing me. So I had prayed for this opportunity. I was not well. I was really, really sick. I had suffered from postpartum. I had stomach issues, inflammation like you wouldn't believe, blood pressure issues. I could go on and on. I was super young. I was in my 20s and I was seeing doctors, and I lived suffocated and not really truly my full self. And I was tired of it, and I felt like I was on the road to where I needed medication. I remember one day literally driving in the car with my husband and looking at our kids in the back seat and saying, I feel like I'm going to have to go live in a mental hospital, because I knew what was happening to me, but I felt that out of touch, and just feeling like I couldn't get control of it. And so I was praying for this. I watched Sadie post about it. I was wondering, could this bless my life? Could this be the answer? God, would you just have her reach out to me if this is your answer? And I tell her this all the time, but I am just so thankful that she felt compelled to even just say, hey, I don't know if this is for you, but I was thinking of you. And I'm like, yes, sign me up. I don't know what I need or what this is. Really, I've watched some of your stuff, but I think I need it. And I think God is using you to talk to me. So I trusted it wholly. I went all in with this company. And I do remember seeing her post business things. And so when I first came in, I did want to know more about the business. I was desperately hoping for this to change my life so I could share my story of that and provide hope and health to other people. But I desperately had another dream that she did not know, that my husband was working insane hours to give me the life that I had always dreamed of, which was staying home and raising my babies. And I am so, so thankful for that, but it came at a cost. And that meant he would pick up a phone call on a holiday and he would leave. And my kids missed out on having their dad at soccer practice and all kinds of things, but I got to be present and I loved that. But we wanted him home too. And I thought, if I could just make a little bit of extra money, maybe my husband could be home more. Maybe he would stop taking calls that he didn't really need to take, but he wanted to provide for our family. And so that's kind of how it all started. Just a couple years ago, my husband took a different job with a different company, and he had to take a pay cut to take a step forward. And he would have never considered that significant pay cut if I was not doing what I was doing. It would have never, ever been in the cards for us. So that was one of the biggest moments where I was just like, I have to do this. I came in and the first two things I saw emerald and I saw diamond. And I was like, I'm going for emerald. And thank you, God, that we got there this past June. It was the best thing ever. and I've got my sights set on diamond, and it's not just for me. It's not just about me at this point. I have found healing with this company. I have found myself with this company, and I have found a new fire and just a drive for life and reaching other people and the impact that this is making, and my team, and watching their lives be changed by it. And I cannot get enough, because I've always been a stay-at-home mom. This is actually the very first job ever that my husband hasn't paid for me to work. I know. But I had fun jobs that were just like, one day to get out of the house. And he was like, okay, I'm paying for you to work. This is not working. But this is the first job that I am actually doing everything that I've ever dreamed of, that I love. I am staying home with my babies. I am saying yes. I am there I put my kids to bed tonight. I read to them, and then I hopped on this, and I get to love on people, and I get to help bring them health and happiness. And it's just, there is no job better than this, in my opinion. Whether you want to make a little bit of money or you want to go to the top of this company, there is a place for every single person here, and you are seen and you are valued. And I promise you will just find so much fulfillment by just taking a chance and saying, you know what, how can I get more involved? How can I bring this into my life? How can I be a blessing to other people? So that's really my story. And yeah, I could go on and on, but that's all I want to share for now.
Thank you, sweetheart. Is she just not the best? I mean, seriously, I just love listening to you, because you have a relatability about you that makes us all feel like we belong inside of your message. So I love you so much. Okay, the next person that we're going to talk to is Miss Adrienne Lewis, and she is extremely special to me. We went to high school together. We know each other through a very dear friend of mine. And so, Adrienne, will you share what this business has done for you?
Okay, Sadie, you got me doing this just for you,
She didn't
my
have
dear.
but you're showing up for her growth. Okay, look at her doing this. Go ahead, babe.
Well, I too I still don't feel like I am in the business per se. I'm like very green. I'm a gold ambassador. I have a very small team that are all super dear friends of mine, which is the best part. But I think when I just started sharing, because I couldn't afford, or I felt guilty for paying like this extra amount for myself. So just by sharing with my family, my mom, my sister, my sister-in-law, my aunt for a hot minute is how I got started. But that's just been able to sustain me to where I can have my products for free. So I'm feeling awesome. And the more awesome I feel, the more that I want to share. It's just flowing naturally, I feel like. But I didn't really want a business. I mean, I like my job. I work full time. I'm somehow managing to do all this stuff like, on my lunch break and on the weekends mostly. But I was able to buy all the school supplies this summer. So I thought, hey, dang, thanks, Plexus. Like, all right, this is working. I'm not mad about that. But I mean, I think the most impact that I can say is for my family. I can tell that they're getting healthier, and just knowing that I kind of had a little role in that is just really rewarding.
I love that. And you guys, this is the beauty of this business, is that you scale it based on your need. Okay. You scale it based on your want, and you scale it based on your experience. And so, Adrienne, I just love hearing this. I love knowing that you treated your family or your kiddos to those, the school supplies. And I just love you, and your entire team loves you, by the way. So I've noticed that from working with you guys. So okay, up next is a super dear friend of mine. Jody Snodgrass. She is a senior Ruby ambassador. She is one of my very dearest friends, and I cannot wait to hear her just wow you with her experience and her story. Go ahead, babe.
Hi, guys. So, it's hard for me to not get emotional too when I look at all these faces and I think, oh my gosh, this is a trickle effect right here. And I am that emotional person on this team. We're in good company, right? I did start for the health reasons, for sure, for the products. I was definitely that person. It was not for the business at all, as Sadie said right from the beginning. I had zero interest, honestly, if you want to know the truth. I hate to say a network marketing snob, but it's true. I actually said, I'm embarrassed to say it, but I'm not going to be one of those people. How sad, because those people are some of my dearest best friends today. And I'm proud to be those people. And I just can't even imagine the mindset shift. So many things have happened over the past 5 years to change that mindset shift. But I'm just thinking back from where I started to where I am today. So many people are just uneducated about what this opportunity can bring to them. And I started to as sharing health, but now it's like I'm passionate about sharing what this opportunity can be for others. So I quickly realized how effective these products were. We all do. In fact, it's a given. The products stand alone by themselves. Obviously, I had changes very quickly with these supplements that I didn't have with the prescriptions that I was taking. I was pretty much a hot mess express, as you're probably going to hear from, like Diane was saying. I was, almost 40, and I was a mess. I was just a mess. I had lost 2 brothers, and I had delivered quadruplets, and my body just reacted in ways that I didn't know what to do with. I developed autoimmune issues, and I was just a mess. And so on the outside, I looked really fine. On the inside, Plexus was probably the biggest blessing ever, because it just changed my story, my health story. But the thing that, as you heard from Mandy and all of the others, is that when something changes your story, I quickly realized that there's no selling about anything. You're sharing what is happening in your life, and you're sharing hope, you're sharing solutions, you're giving freedom back to people that were losing hours to migraines, pain, digestive issues, anxiety, depression. That is not selling. That's sharing. And that's a completely different ballgame. As I was able to do that, it became almost a ministry to me, not a job. And it was just completely it became a beautiful thing. Honestly, my team helped me get to Ruby. There's no doubt about it. I didn't even really look at this as a business until I looked at it more like a hobby, more fun. I love the team atmosphere. I'm a person that loves collaboration. But then once I got to Ruby, I was like, my gosh, this actually could be something that's legit, because I don't know if you caught on, but I have quadruplets. which means I have right now an 18-year-old and 4 14-year-olds. And so everything comes in groups. 4 sets of new basketball shoes, 4 sets of payments for, you know, sports. When they go to a birthday party, it's 4 gifts, you know, because they don't want to just take one. So everything comes in groups. And that was something for my family that was a big deal. I mean, I had to always work some type of job, whether it be, I was a teacher before, and it didn't pay for me to go back to teaching, but it did. I had to do something to supplement that income. This business became what I call God's business. I really do. It provided all those things, everything that I needed. I've been able to supplement all of those things with this income. But the funny thing is when I was actually got to the point where I could pay for my house payment, my grocery bill, you know, I was saving for my kids' college. I paid for vacations. I have done 2 huge landscaping projects, all on our Plexus, extra Plexus funds. My husband finally was like, you know, this is a legit thing. Yeah, you think so? You think so? It's just, I consider this business a huge blessing. I thought the health side, the health benefits was a huge blessing. The business is such a blessing, such a blessing. It's provided me so many opportunities, friendships, freedom, growth. We were just talking about growth in areas that were untapped that I didn't even know I needed growth in, you know. So most people are skeptical of this opportunity. They are, but you know, we're trained and taught from a young age to look for jobs. We've talked about this so many times on meetings and team calls, but we have a beautiful opportunity to present to people. And it's our job to share with others this kind of thing, especially in the year 2020. You know, it really is. So I encourage anybody that's on here listening that, you know, you actually check into this, ask questions, because it's something that could change your life.
Thank you, Sissy.
Yeah.
I always love hearing your perspective. She's so soft, isn't she? She's the softest. I just love her so much.
I love you.
I love you. Okay, Donna Barger. We have my sweet Donna next. And I cannot say this about many people, but I was there on her first day in Plexus. And so I say that every time I can because I feel like it makes me and you famous, our little relationship. So, okay, hit it, girl.
Okay, thanks for having me for one thing. Yes, it was you and Jody who made the long drive to our little town. And it was a good night 5 years ago, almost 5 years. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
But you know what? For those of you that don't know, I'm Donna Barger, Senior Gold Ambassador, but it's way more than just that because I'm an Enneagram 7. For those of you that don't know, look it up. But I am someone that is not going to miss out on something. Major FOMO, no matter what it is. Where's the fun? I want to be there. And that's why I went that night to hear all about this. I did not want to miss out on something. Well, I didn't even know what it was, to be totally honest. But once I heard what it was about, I knew it was something I needed at this age, at this stage in life. It was a lot of issues with, you know, just instability within me that I just knew I needed something and I didn't know what it was. So I'm so glad I listened that night, and I did not hesitate one bit. I signed up right there on the spot and I haven't looked back since. So it has been a true blessing, especially with the friendships that we've made. All the people that have spoke tonight have just touched my life in more ways than you guys will ever know. I could probably all be your mom, which is even better because you just have made me feel welcome. And that is so wonderful about our team, is that everybody does make everybody feel welcome, that they are a part of something bigger than themselves, because we're all worth it. We are all worth every bit of it. And so why did I start? Why did I share? I shared because honestly, the timing of it was early in the year, but I didn't start saying anything till probably 6 months in. And then I got to thinking, well, this could probably pay for Christmas. This could probably help me out there, because I'm always one that would have put it on a credit card and then have to worry about it after the holiday. And so that was first thing that came up was, why don't I start sharing more and have that be extra income that I didn't have to worry about? And then the next thing came about was, for those of you that don't know, I have a passion for missions, and I was able to pay for my mission trip as well as my daughter's to Haiti. Haiti has a special place in our heart, and that has been such a huge blessing. And then the next thing came about. My daughter decides to go overseas and spend 2 years in Africa in the Peace Corps. And it's like, how am I going to get there? It came about again. I have been blessed in so many ways with this financial freedom to be able to take my husband and I to Africa for 10 days to see her. So why would you not want to talk about this? Why would you not want to share it with somebody? The products work. You don't have to worry about that. They've done the research. They've done their part for us. They've given us all the tools. The products do their part. So there's no reason not to tell somebody else about it, because you can bless them in so many ways. And it's so important, I think, for people to see me and to see you as you are. I mean, we don't need to be somebody we're not, because that's what makes us us, is that you be you and I'll be me. And we're going to surround ourselves with the people that God has drawn us to, or we've drawn us to them, whatever it is. And anybody that has come along with me, I hope they know that I'm going to be their biggest cheerleader. If they want this, we're going to have fun. We're not going to miss out, and we're going to do this together. And like I said, I know that anybody that I've crossed paths with, or that has crossed my path, God placed us here for a reason. And we are only going forward one step at a time, and we're going to do it together. And don't ever believe that you can't help somebody else out with this. It's just a definite financial blessing. So that's all I got.
I love that. I just love that. And it's so true. Nothing is a mistake. And I love that you brought that up, because I believe that. So I'm going to go ahead and share my financial testimony. And then we've got one more friend right after me. So I'm Sadie Hirschway. I'm a Sapphire ambassador with Plexus. I've been doing this for like 6 years. It feels like giving birth every single month, but it also feels like the lightest, most freeing decision I've ever made. And so I'm just so thankful for every single person on the screen. I'm going to be completely raw and transparent here when I share with you that I didn't have that skeptical thing when the products were presented in front of me. I was at a place where I just was like knee-jerk reaction. I was kind of like Diane. I was like, ready. Let's do this. Okay, order. Where's let me put my credit card in. I was skeptical, but I was not skeptical enough not to say yes. And so I just did that. And I come from a long line of entrepreneurial spirit. I come from a family of immigrants who are all self-made. And I knew that I didn't want to be a doctor or a lawyer. I'm going to be flat out honest with you guys. Okay. That's the lineage that I come from. And I had no interest in that. My father is an entrepreneur. He's a hustler. That's what he calls himself. And I didn't know that really imprinted anything in me until I found an opportunity to see a value in something that I knew that I wanted to be the person to share with everything. So prior to Plexus, I was in sales. I was in staffing sales. I don't know if you know anything about staffing, but I was very proud of my position. I provided jobs for people. My biggest pride in that industry comes from providing light industrial opportunities. So this is people who work in manufacturing positions. If you're in St. Louis, I provided all the staffing for Landshire sandwiches and Holton meat. That was something that was really important to me. Okay. But then after I chose to leave for money, and I'm being completely transparent. Okay. I left for money and went to go do IT sales, and all the sparkle and the shine faded there, because that was not something that I could find the pride in. I felt pride in my everyday work, but I did not have the same pride of when people would come in and collect their paycheck and say, "You saved my family today. Thank you for doing the work that you did." And so when I left and I was putting these these suits to work every day, as we like to say, it just wasn't the same. And I'm just telling you that when I started to feel better with Plexus and I started to understand the impact of what Candida overgrowth meant, and I did the research of every single ingredient in ProBio 5, and I understood that there was no other formula exactly like that anyone could get anywhere else, and that I wanted to be the person to share it, and that I kept collecting these testimonies on accident of people who were just buying from me, and they were saying, "You're my angel. I feel so much better. I can eat this today. I can eat that today." I just felt like the Lord had dropped in my lap what my purpose was. And if I ignored that, I really I was just delaying this lesson that he had been wanting me to learn, which is follow your heart, follow your purpose. I will guide you perfectly. And so that's what happened. And so I followed it, you guys, and I want to tell you something. It's not a popular story, but I followed it through a separation and a divorce. I followed it through naysayers. I followed it through, I followed it when it felt like it was the wrong thing to do, but I kept following it because I kept praying. And I want to tell you that I'm not going to cry because I already started my period. So I'm not going to do that. But what I want to say is that if you feel that if you've got a place here and you've got more for you to do in this work, it is because it's on purpose. Okay. So here's another piece of my financial testimony I want to share with you. So when I went through my divorce, I had to take extra work because I had not shown up for my team. I showed up for my team. I was there every day, but we went through some big changes, and I lost our Emerald promotion, and I was being paid as a senior Ruby, and that's a great place to be stuck. Don't get me, we're good there. Okay. But I had to buy furniture. So I took some contracting work as we built back up to where we needed to be. And it was good money. But I got to tell you right now, we built back up to Emerald. We were doing it. I was the most tired human being you've ever met in your whole life, but I was making good money. And I'm here to tell you that I kept praying, and I heard the Lord say to me, "Is it not enough what I've provided you?" And so in January of this year, 2020, we didn't know what we were about to walk into. I'm just giving you all this foreshadowing, okay? I left that work on blind faith, dropping about $5,000 of income a month, okay? I left that. And I said, it will be enough. He will provide, and guess what he did? We are sapphire. We are full steam ahead, ready for Diamond. And it's because I did not push the need for the money, the pride, the this, the that. I leaned in to what I was already given. I knew years ago that he had done this for us, myself and my daughters. Okay. And this might be a little bit different because I think I've been doing this longer than everybody on here. So I'm just giving a little bit more. But I am here to say that your financial testimony will always come in layers. And you just have to constantly be aware and open to the blessings. And I live the very best life that there is. I work this business with my very best friends. Literally, I have a dream job. And it doesn't come without frustration. I'm telling you right now. Okay. But it is the best type of frustration because I could be punching a clock somewhere. I could be asking somebody if I could pick my kids up. I could be praying that they don't get sick because I don't have another option as a single mom. Okay. So if you believe that this is for you, and I think you're on here and you do, it is for you. And you can do this. And I believe in every single one of you. And the person who's about to close is somebody that is going to have a very big month. She's got a lot going on. She can unmute herself. She's probably going to get really mad at me. She's like, don't be saying this. Stephanie Brinkmeyer, come on.
Hi. I was wondering why you made me laugh, especially after you. Rude.
I didn't mean to. It was just like,
did you not?
Oh, okay. I love you though.
All right. Ha. Thank you for coming on and listening to us. Everybody's story is so different, but it's also powerful, and it's such an honor to be able to share these awesome stories that we have. I, like everybody else, well, not Sadie, because she knew, and Diane was very skeptical. Not skeptical necessarily. I trusted Mandy. And Mandy's my direct upline, and she was posting about things. I have Crohn's. I was diagnosed, I started Plexus 3 years ago. I was diagnosed at the age of 24. And I have flare-ups. I was luckily have a very mild case, but this time I had it for 2 months. I couldn't control it. I didn't have any, I didn't know what was going on. I went and got a colonoscopy. It was just an inflammation. And I was like, oh, neat. What am I supposed to do? So I took it upon myself because there's so many probiotics out there on the market, but I trusted Mandy because she was my good friend. She and I think alike, act alike, and I didn't have any worries in the world. I just went with her. I just jumped in. And I was one of those that I'm like, because my husband worked 2 jobs for 5 years of our life. And just like Diane, for a different reason, BJ was absent from our life for a good period of it. I was picking him up from school and changing Will on the drive-through line to get him McDonald's. I mean, yay, for his baseball game that BJ had to miss. But I went down that path, and Mandy's like, okay, you should post out there, share. And I was like, no, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I wish I would have, because people that I know that do, and you just got to believe, and you got to believe in your team. You got to believe in your sponsors, because everybody's here to support everybody. So if you don't know anything, that's when you put them in a 3-way message. That's when you communicate in a different path. And yet that's how you learn. But I started posting probably after about 6 months, because like I said, I started because of Crohn's, but anxiety has controlled my life. And I didn't realize it until after I started, and I actually had a life back. And I was a better mom. And it wasn't all about all the weight loss and all the things for me. I just felt better. And I just felt content and happy. And I made that choice for myself. But then that choice for myself then spread to everybody else around me. And my family. My husband doesn't work 2 jobs anymore. And he's home, and we're happier. And my kids get their dad back. And I mean, for a long time, I did well. I did well, and I think for about a year, I took my minivan that I love so much, I never wanted to let go of. I drove it to the dealership, and my friend who was selling us a new car, he said, it wasn't even safe to drive this here. Like, I drove it into the ground like the last minute. And luckily we were able, when we got I think like 2 months after we had gotten our new car, that was able to pay the payment from that point on. And that was a huge piece. Like, just keep it simple. And that was just a huge relief that our biggest payment of the month besides our mortgage was taken care of automatically. But then it just, I don't, and then the past year, like I said, 3 years ago in June, I started. In this past year, when you put intention into your work and your purpose, it changes everything. And then when you have this wonderful team that joins you and you get to do this with everybody else, and majority of these people on this call, a lot of them live in Kansas City on Sadie's team. Like, they're not even on, my team, but we're all a family. Like, we're always here. And I miss the Kansas City peeps. We haven't seen them. Like, the people that you get to meet doing this and the times that you get to spend, they're just so easy. It's very, honestly, for me, it's a very odd environment because this normally isn't me. Like, I'm not, push things and, like Jody said, share. That's what we're doing. We're sharing. And at one point I didn't want to do something. And Sadie said, she just gave me the what's what and the who's who. She's like, you're doing everyone a disservice if you don't tell people about these products, because make it their choice. And I was like, okay. she was completely right, because you never know. And people can, and they can, just make them notice. If they don't want to jump on board, you all know how your brain works and what you're comfortable with, but just make them aware and just love them where they're at and just continue to, reach out and communicate. But I don't even know where I'm just word vomiting at this point. But this has been a true blessing financially. Like I said, my husband doesn't work 2 jobs anymore. We have so many just normal nights at home. We are able to go on just family vacations and not have to like scrimp and save what we're spending. The kids, we can buy the kids extra things sometimes. I mean, this is the simplest thing. And I actually cried when this happened. My damn dog, who's a pain in my ass, got fleas. And I had to go, like, I went and got a couple $100. I went to Petco right away, got a couple $100 with stuff. And last year, I'm like, oh God, if I do this, and what am I not going to be able to do next? Like, it was the stupidest, smallest, most pain in the ass thing. Sorry, recording, but I could do it. And it was simple. And I just got to do my life. I'm living and not surviving anymore. And it's a really good feeling. Like, and Diane said too, to pass that along to others, to let everybody else have that feeling for sharing something that's such a blessing and has been to myself and my family and so many people that I know. You can't help yourself. Like, I never thought this would be me, but there's so much good and there's so much education out there that people don't know. And so I just try to do my best to keep it simple and just continue to provide them the information for them to pay attention to, that to make them hopefully make the decision one day to make themselves a priority and make themselves feel like they should feel, like they deserve to feel. And that's what I hope for everybody every day. And that's back to Sadie's point, the frustration. There are frustrating days that people that that need this more than many decide they can't make it through detox or whatever it is. And that's the frustrating part, because your heart breaks because you know how this has helped you and how it's helped others. But at the end of the day, that's where the frustration sets in. But then within 5 minutes, something else comes along. And again, you'll keep loving and paying attention to that individual, but something else comes along. Somebody you've been talking to for months, and they finally said, okay, I'm ready to do it for myself. And then it just goes back to loving everything, just like your kids. Like, they do one thing and you want to lock them out of the house, and then they smile at you the right way. Like, okay, you're back in. It's just the simple things, the frustration, but the frustration is because you love people, because you want them to feel that what you feel. And I wouldn't give this up for the world. I'm so thankful that for everyone that has supported me and continues to support me, and for what I have because of it. Why am I the crier of everybody?
Because you're going Emerald.
Well, God's path is God's path, and God's will is God's will, and I will do everything I can to make it that. And if not, we'll go next month. We'll push, and whatever comes out of that, yeah. It's happening. Don't side eye me, sister.
I didn't do anything. I just want to wrap up and say, because I know we're recording, I just want to wrap up and say, the people you've heard from tonight are people that I personally know, I personally love, I personally care about each and every one of them. And I am just so blessed by each of them. So I'm going to quit recording.